I want you to stop everything you're doing right now and listen very carefully. What I'm about to tell you has transformed the lives of thousands of people who were once prisoners of their own minds. And today, it could free you too. You see, right at this moment, your mind is playing a trick on you. A trick so convincing, so familiar, that you've never even questioned it. This trick is costing you your happiness, your peace, and even your health. I know what it feels like. The racing thoughts at 3 a.m. The constant what-ifs that poison every moment of joy. The feeling that no matter what you do, you're never quite safe enough, good enough, or prepared enough. But what if I told you that in the next 10 minutes, you could understand something so powerful that worry would never control you the same way again? I'm not offering temporary relief. I'm offering you the first key to permanent freedom. The ancient masters discovered this truth centuries ago, but most people will go their entire lives without ever hearing it. They'll waste years, decades trapped in a prison with unlocked doors. That won't be you. Not after today. In our first lesson, we're going to uncover the true nature of worry itself. And when you see it, really see it, your life will begin flowing in ways you never thought possible. Stay with me. This changes everything. You know that feeling when your mind won't stop spinning about something that might happen next week? That's what we need to talk about first. There's a big difference between planning ahead and torturing yourself with what-ifs. Planning is useful and helps you prepare, but endless worrying? That's just suffering you're creating for yourself. Think about the last time you worried about something. Maybe it was a conversation with your boss, a health concern, or money troubles. How much of that worry actually helped the situation? Probably not much. This is what the wise ones call the difference between productive concern and unnecessary suffering. When you become attached to how things should be, you set yourself up for anxiety. Life rarely follows our script, does it? You want a perfect vacation, but it rains. You expect praise for your hard work, but no one notices. These gaps between what we expect and what happens create constant tension in our minds. The ancient teachings talk about this as dukkha, a word that means more than just suffering. It's that feeling that something is always a little off, that constant dissatisfaction humming in the background of your life. Worry is one of the clearest expressions of this. You're literally rejecting the present moment because you're convinced something bad is coming. But I need to prepare for problems. You might say, sure, but here's the thing. Your mind doesn't play fair. It's actually designed to focus more on potential threats than on potential joys. This made sense when we lived in a world of physical dangers, but now this same tendency makes us imagine the worst possible outcome for every situation. Your mind is like a magnet for negative scenarios. It creates detailed disaster movies starring you. The wise ones identified this pattern thousands of years ago. They described 4 noble truths that explain this whole process. The first truth acknowledges that life contains suffering. Not exactly breaking news, right? The second truth is where it gets interesting. Our suffering comes from craving things to be different than they are. That's exactly what worry is. Craving certainty in an uncertain world. You can start noticing the specific thought patterns that fuel your worries. Maybe you tend to catastrophize. If I make one mistake, I'll get fired. Then I'll lose my house. Then my family will leave me. Or perhaps you overgeneralize. I always mess things up. These are just habits of mind, not facts about reality. You might notice how your worry thoughts often contain words like should, must, or have to. These rigid demands create tension because life rarely follows our rulebook. When you hear these words in your thoughts, that's your cue that you're setting yourself up for worry. The good news is that simply noticing these patterns starts to weaken their hold on you. When you catch yourself spinning worst-case scenarios, you can pause and say, "Oh, there's my mind doing that thing again." This small moment of awareness creates space between you and the worry. And in that space, you find the beginning of freedom. Next time you feel that familiar tightness of worry, try to get curious about it rather than fighting it. What story is your mind telling? What's the fear underneath it? What would happen if you didn't believe that story? This simple practice of questioning your thoughts is the first step towards seeing worry for what it really is, just thoughts, not reality. Remember, understanding the nature of worry isn't about adding more knowledge to your mind. It's about seeing clearly what's already happening. Like a friend sitting by a rushing river, I'm just pointing out the patterns in the water that you might have missed because you're so used to them. Once you see them, you'll never look at your worries quite the same way again. Now that you understand what worry truly is, let's move to something even more powerful, the practice of letting go. Think about water for a moment. When water meets an obstacle, it doesn't fight or worry about it. It simply flows around it and continues on its journey. Water doesn't wonder if it's taking the right path or if the path ahead will be difficult. It simply flows. This is our second lesson, learning how to be like water. Everything in life changes. The weather, your feelings, relationships, success, failure, none of it stays the same. This understanding isn't just some idea. It's freedom when you truly get it. When you know that nothing lasts forever, not your problems, not your pain, you can stop clutching so tightly to control. Have you ever watched a child build a sandcastle? They spend hours creating it, decorating it, and then when the tide comes in and washes it away, they laugh. They understand something we've forgotten. The joy was in the creating, not in making it last forever. Let me show you a simple but powerful practice. The next time a worry appears in your mind, try just watching it without getting caught up in it. Like sitting on a riverbank watching leaves float by on the surface of the water. You don't need to grab them or push them away. Just observe. There's a worry about money. There's a thought about that conversation tomorrow. This is the practice of clear seeing. The middle path is so important here. You don't need to abandon all planning or responsibility. That's not wisdom. But there's a world of difference between thoughtful preparation and anxious obsession. You can plan your day tomorrow without living in fear of what it might bring. You can save for the future without letting fear of scarcity poison your present. Try approaching each moment with what the wise ones call beginner's mind. When you think you know exactly how something will turn out, you're not really living. You're just replaying old patterns. But when you approach life with fresh eyes, even ordinary moments become extraordinary. The same walk you take every day becomes new when you drop your assumptions about it. The practice of letting go isn't something you do once and finish. It's something you do 1,000 times a day. When you notice yourself getting caught in worry, gently release your grip. When you find yourself demanding that life be different than it is, soften that demand. Each time you do this, you're training in freedom. There's a story about a monk who carried a heavy statue of the Buddha for miles. When asked why he didn't put it down when he got tired, he said, "I forgot it was something I could put down." Your worries are like that. Heavy burdens you've been carrying so long you've forgotten you can set them down. The greatest trust you can develop is trust in life itself. Not that everything will go your way, it won't. But trust that you can meet whatever comes with presence and wisdom. This trust doesn't come from blind faith, but from experience. Each time you let go and survive, even thrive, that trust grows stronger. Remember, you don't have to solve every problem right now. You don't have to know all the answers. Sometimes the wisest response is to wait, to rest in not knowing, and to allow life to reveal the next step when it's time. This is the art of flowing with life rather than fighting against it. The river doesn't force its way through the mountain. It follows the natural path of least resistance. Yet over time, it carves canyons through solid rock. That's the power of flowing instead of forcing. What could your life look like if you moved with the same natural wisdom? Let's explore our third lesson: how to use the power of mindfulness to break free from worry. Have you ever noticed how your mind jumps from one thought to another, like a monkey swinging from branch to branch? One moment you're thinking about work, then suddenly you're planning dinner, then worrying about a conversation from 3 days ago. This scattered mind is the perfect breeding ground for anxiety. When your attention is pulled in 10 different directions, you're never fully here. You're half listening to your child while thinking about emails. You're half working while thinking about the weekend. And in this divided state, worry finds the perfect opportunity to grow. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. You burn a lot of energy but don't get very far. The ancient practice of mindfulness offers a different way. It's not complicated. It's simply the art of being fully present with whatever is happening right now. Not wishing it were different, not adding stories about what it means, just seeing clearly what is. Try this simple practice. For just 1 minute, place your complete attention on your breathing. Just follow the natural rhythm of your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back to the breath without judgment. This isn't about forcing your mind to be still. It's about noticing when it wanders and bringing it home again. When worries arise, one of the most powerful practices is to simply name them. Planning mind is here. Worry about the meeting is present. Fear about money has arrived. This simple act of naming creates a tiny bit of space between you and the thought. In that space, you find freedom. The beauty of mindfulness is that you don't need a special cushion or a quiet temple to practice it. You can transform any everyday activity into a mindfulness practice. When you wash dishes, just wash dishes. Feel the water, notice the soap bubbles. Be fully present with this simple act. When you walk, just walk. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the movement of your body. Each step becomes a small awakening. Your breath is always with you, like a faithful friend waiting to bring you back to the present moment. When worry pulls you into an imagined future or regretted past, your breath gently invites you back. 3 conscious breaths can change your entire state of mind. Try it right now. 3 slow, deep breaths, feeling each one fully. The practice becomes especially powerful in conversations. When someone is speaking to you, can you listen with your full attention? Not planning what you'll say next, not judging what they're saying, just receiving their words with an open heart and mind. This kind of listening not only reduces your own worry, but creates a space where others feel truly heard, perhaps for the first time. Notice how worry always involves thinking about something other than what's happening right now. It pulls you into the future or pushes you into the past. But mindfulness anchors you firmly in the present, the only place where life actually happens, the only place where worry cannot exist. This practice isn't about achieving some perfect state of calm. It's about developing a friendly relationship with your own mind. When your attention wanders, you simply notice, smile, and return to the present. No judgment, no frustration, just a gentle coming back, again and again. In the space of mindful awareness, you begin to see that thoughts are just thoughts, not facts or commands you must obey. Worry loses its grip when you can watch it arise and pass away, like clouds moving across the vast sky of your awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who sees them. In this recognition lies tremendous freedom. Now we come to our 4th lesson, developing the wisdom that helps us rise above our worries completely. Wisdom isn't the same as knowledge. You can know many facts but still lack wisdom. Knowledge is knowing that tomatoes are technically fruits. Wisdom is knowing not to put them in a fruit salad. Wisdom in life works the same way. It's about seeing clearly what matters and what doesn't. This deeper seeing has been called many names throughout history. It's the ability to look beneath the surface of things and recognize their true nature. When you develop this kind of vision, worries begin to lose their power over you naturally, without struggle. The first step in cultivating wisdom is learning to tell the difference between real problems and mind-created ones. Here's a simple test. Ask yourself, is there a specific action I can take right now to address this concern? If yes, take that action. If no, then you're likely caught in a thought loop that serves no purpose. A wise person knows the difference between useful thinking and mental spinning. Try this practice when worry appears. Pause and gently question the thought. Is this absolutely true? How do I know it's true? What would I be without this thought? Don't try to force the thought away, that only strengthens it. Instead, look directly at it with kind curiosity. Like shining a light into a dark room, you'll often find there was nothing to fear after all. Wisdom isn't just about solving your own problems. It naturally flows into compassion for others. When you see clearly how worry operates in your own mind, you recognize it in others too. Instead of reacting to someone's angry words, you might see the fear behind them. This understanding naturally softens your heart and transforms potential conflicts into opportunities for connection. Throughout history, teachers have used short, puzzling stories to help people break free from rigid thinking patterns. These stories work because they can't be understood with your normal way of thinking. They force you to drop your usual mental habits and see from a fresh perspective. Here's one such story. A monk asked his teacher, "What is the meaning of life?" The teacher replied, "Did you eat your breakfast?" The monk said, "Yes." The teacher said, "Then wash your bowl." This simple instruction points to a profound truth. Life isn't found in grand philosophical ideas, but in complete presence with ordinary moments. One of the most liberating insights wisdom brings is seeing how everything is connected. No thing or person exists in isolation. Your morning coffee connects you to farmers across the world, to rainforests and shipping routes, to thousands of years of cultivation traditions. When you truly see this web of connection, many worries naturally fade because the boundaries between you and the world start to soften. You don't need to become a philosopher to develop wisdom. Simple questions in daily life can spark profound insights. What really matters in this situation? What will I care about when looking back on this day? Am I seeing the whole picture or just my own point of view? Wisdom develops through both difficult and joyful experiences. When challenges arise, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" Every experience becomes your teacher when approached with this attitude. The ancient ones noticed that we often suffer twice, once when something difficult happens, and again when we resist what has already happened. Wisdom shows us that accepting reality isn't passive resignation, it's the foundation for effective action. You can only change things by starting with a clear recognition of what is. As this clarity grows in you, something remarkable happens. Many problems that seem solid and real begin to dissolve on their own. Not because you figured them all out, but because you've developed the capacity to see through them to what truly matters. We've reached our fifth and final lesson: how to live in harmony with life's natural flow instead of constantly swimming against the current. Have you ever watched how nature works? A tree doesn't strain to grow, it simply grows. A river doesn't force its way through the land, it follows the path of least resistance. Yet both the tree and the river accomplish amazing things without struggle or worry. There's a profound wisdom in this natural way of being. The ancient sages observed this effortless action in nature and called it non-doing. This doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting without forcing or struggling. Think of how you breathe. You don't have to remind yourself to inhale and exhale. It happens naturally, perfectly, without your effort. What if you could bring this same quality to other areas of your life? When faced with difficult times, there's a path that feels right deep down. It's not always the easiest path or the one others expect you to take. but there's a quiet knowing within you that recognizes it. Following this inner compass doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It means you'll face them in a way that aligns with who you truly are, rather than who you think you should be. Life naturally moves between highs and lows, just like your breathing moves between inhale and exhale. Resisting these natural rhythms creates suffering. When you're in a low period, can you allow it to be there without fighting it? Can you trust that, like all things, it will change in its own time? This balanced perspective during life's ups and downs is like being the sky that allows all weather to pass through it. Sometimes sunny, sometimes stormy, but always fundamentally unchanged. One of the greatest causes of worry is always wanting more than you have. The endless pursuit of the next thing keeps you from experiencing the richness of what's already here. Try this simple practice. Each morning or evening, take a few moments to notice what you already have that you can be grateful for. Not just material things, but simple gifts like the ability to see, to breathe, to feel. This practice of contentment doesn't mean giving up on meaningful goals. It means finding peace in the present, even as you move toward the future. There's a wisdom in knowing what can be changed and what cannot. Much suffering comes from trying to control things beyond your reach. The weather, other people's opinions, the past, these cannot be changed by worry or force. But your response to these things, that's entirely within your power. Wisdom means putting your energy where it can make a difference, not where it will be wasted. Bringing these teachings into modern life doesn't require moving to a mountain retreat. It simply means finding small ways to align with life's natural flow each day. Maybe it's taking a moment to breathe before responding to an upsetting email. Maybe it's choosing to do one thing at a time instead of multitasking. Maybe it's allowing yourself to rest when you're tired rather than pushing through with caffeine and willpower. Picture yourself in a canoe on a river. You can paddle frantically against the current, exhausting yourself while making little progress. Or you can use the river's own power, guiding your canoe with minimal effort, moving far more quickly and enjoyably. Living in harmony with life is like skillful canoeing. It's not about giving up control, but about working with greater forces rather than against them. The beauty of this approach is that it gets easier with practice. At first, you might catch yourself fighting reality only after you've been struggling for hours. Eventually, you'll notice sooner. One day, you'll find yourself naturally flowing with life more often than not, responding to challenges with the same natural ease as water flowing around a rock. This doesn't mean becoming passive or accepting injustice. Remember the tree, it doesn't strain, but it still grows tall and strong. You can work toward important change in the world while remaining inwardly at peace. In fact, this inner harmony makes your outer actions more powerful, not less. Living in flow means trusting life, even when you don't understand it. It means recognizing that you are part of something larger than yourself, something that has its own intelligence and timing. When worry arises, it's a signal that you've temporarily forgotten this connection. Coming back to it is as simple and as challenging as letting go. We've journeyed together through 5 powerful lessons that can transform your relationship with worry and help you reconnect with life's natural flow. But knowing these teachings is just a beginning. The real magic happens when you put them into practice in your daily life. I created this channel because I believe these ancient wisdom teachings shouldn't remain locked in monasteries or old texts. They belong in our homes, offices, and hearts, wherever we struggle with life's challenges. If these ideas resonated with you, if you felt even a moment of recognition or relief while watching, please consider subscribing to our channel. Each week, I share practical wisdom that you can apply immediately to create more peace and clarity in your life. And if you know someone who's currently caught in worry's grip, a friend who can't sleep at night, a family member overwhelmed with stress, or a colleague who's always anticipating disaster, please share this video with them. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is a new perspective, a fresh way of seeing that opens the door to freedom. Remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Start with just one idea from today's video. Practice it, explore it, see how it works in your life. Small shifts in perspective can create enormous changes over time. Thank you for your presence and attention. In a world full of distractions, the simple act of focusing your mind on growth and understanding is itself a powerful practice. I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. Which of these 5 lessons spoke to you most deeply? What happened when you tried applying it in your life? Until next time, may you walk with ease, breathe with fullness, and flow with the natural wisdom that's always been within you. If you found value here, please hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone who needs it. Together, we can create a more awake, more compassionate world, one freed mind at a time.